know what? I think it's unfair for me to comment in I guess maybe on behalf of the industry. All I can say is this, the time that we spent with Shedeur, and what he's done throughout his college career is impressive. He's an impressive young man. He's a really good quarterback. Sometimes fit comes into play, and I'd also say this, there are 4 more rounds.
Andrew Berry just crashed the Browns' depth chart like it was a wild reality show twist nobody saw coming. Forget roses and dramatic eliminations. He basically told Dillon Gabriel, "Thanks for showing up," then slid Shedeur Sanders into the spotlight like the brand new main character in Cleveland's football soap opera. Picture someone skipping the whole Disney line with cleats on and zero hesitation. That's Shedeur right now.
Shedeur Sanders, right? I mean, there is just so much content, so much debate, so much vitriol over Shedeur Sanders. They have remained relevant even when they're not winning. And I really ended up liking him as a person as well, and I still do. I think they really looked at it and thought, he's going to be fine here. So it really hasn't been him as much as it has been everything around him. And a lot of it is social media and regular media, but it's really not Shedeur putting himself in the eye of the storm. It's more so just all of the ancillary stuff around him.
This move is packed with drama, chaos, and straight-up comedy. So get ready, because it's about to get loud. If you're enjoying this madness, hit subscribe, because it helps way more than you'd think. The Cleveland Browns have pulled another unpredictable stunt. And just when it looked like they were finally calming down, and maybe, just maybe, trying to act like a normal franchise, they flipped the whole chessboard and laughed while doing it. Andrew Berry stared at 2 quarterbacks, one steady, experienced, reliable in Dillon Gabriel, and one bold, untested, headline-stealing phenom in Shedeur Sanders.
What is going on in Cleveland? Let me know what you guys would do. Would you keep Shedeur? In my opinion, from what I've seen, Shedeur's might be the best quarterback they have on the roster. Yes, you have Flacco, and you don't need to start Shedeur right away, but you have a 5th-round pick who could end up being a starter, which you're not really going to have to pay all that much. I think that's a win-win for both the team and Shedeur, but hey, that's just me. Let me know down below if you think he should be the starter or if you think he even makes the team.
And he chose the kind of move that makes analysts choke on their morning coffee. And of course, in classic Cleveland style, they couldn't just make the choice quietly. They had to drop it with full drama like a cliffhanger straight out of a soap opera. This wasn't a simple roster update. This was a plot twist made to leave fans gasping. If the Browns were a reality TV show, this would be the moment they kick out the fan-favorite contestant in the very first week, just to watch the ratings blast through the roof. But let's slow it down for a second. How did Shedeur Sanders, the kid who stepped into college football with a spotlight brighter than anything since Tim Tebow, suddenly vault over Dillon Gabriel, a quarterback with a resume longer than a CVS receipt?
Dan Orlovsky would sit up there. Now correct me if I'm wrong, Adam Schefter, the great insider, the ultimate one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Dan Orlovsky just bring up what the man did last year in college? Because, see, I didn't bring up Shedeur and the 72% completions. I didn't bring up Shedeur 30-plus touchdowns. I didn't bring none of that up, okay? But here you are bringing up something where we're talking about him and what he looked like in the N.F.L. in this preseason game. That was a pick 6 and a fumble. Now, the Dan Orlovsky I know that I have so much love and affection for, I must say. Now, by the way, you know what, still needs to thank me a little bit more for that restaurant I treated him and his family to, because it was big time, and stop embarrassing me by going places and trying to use coupons. That's how pathetic he is.
Well, Shedeur has something Gabriel simply doesn't. A last name that acts like a built-in Wi-Fi signal linking straight to every camera and microphone in the country. His father is Dillon Sanders, a man who doesn't just sell football dreams. He delivers them with prime-level branding and a non-stop marketing machine that never sleeps. And if you think Andrew Berry wasn't paying attention to all that heat, think again. Think again. Because here's the real play. Cleveland isn't just trying to win football games, they're trying to sell a whole dream to the city. And what better way to sell hope than to crown the shiny, marketable, headline-grabbing quarterback as the future of the franchise? Dillon Gabriel might give you steady, dependable football, but Shedeur Sanders gives you noise, buzz, and fans blowing up timelines before he's even taken a real snap. But this isn't just some celebrity stunt. Andrew Berry isn't sitting in his office flipping through magazine covers like he's picking out wallpaper. There's strategy behind this. A bold, twisted kind of logic that actually tracks if you tilt your head and look close enough. Think about it. Shedeur is high risk, high reward, and Berry just dropped the whole Browns offense in his lap like, here, run the show. And let's keep it real. When was the last time Cleveland played it safe at quarterback and everything went perfectly according to plan? The Browns have been running through quarterbacks like quick social media trends. You look away for a second and boom, there's a new one under center. So maybe Berry finally said, forget the boring route, let's go all in on the quarterback with real star power. If it blows up, at least it'll blow up with style and everybody will be watching.
I think Shedeur Sanders ever starts a game for the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe he starts a game this year, obviously barring injury, which is the conversation you and I had. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to start a game this year because of injury and show something different than he was able to show this preseason, I don't believe they view him as a franchise builder, a franchise starter. And I'm gonna admit something on TV that you probably shouldn't. I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders. I wanted to turn the film on and be able to come on First Take, be on Get Up, and be on NFL Live.
Of course, the fan base is split in two. Some are yelling that Shedeur is the future, the answer, the chosen one who's finally going to stop this cursed Browns quarterback carousel. Others swear Berry just traded stability for a flashy headline, like the GM is running a promo campaign instead of a football team. And honestly, both sides are making real points here because Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a full-blown storyline walking around in shoulder pads. He's the dude who survived behind one of the roughest offensive lines in college football, still dropping numbers while his jersey looked like it got dragged through a shredder. That kind of toughness is rare, but he's also the guy who hasn't thrown a single NFL pass yet.
How much of this decision was based on where Gabriel was drafted, ahead of Sanders by a few rounds, and as pertains to also their actual performance on the practice field and in games this preseason?
I think that Dillon Gabriel's performance on the practice field and in games confirmed the priors for the Cleveland Browns. They valued Dillon Gabriel as a better quarterback prospect than Shedeur Sanders, as evidenced by drafting one in the 3rd round and one in the 5th round, but they still liked Shedeur.
Meanwhile, Gabriel has the kind of experience coaches dream about, but he doesn't bring that same star power spark. Berry wasn't interested in playing it safe, though. If Shedeur flames out, hey, he just becomes another chapter in Cleveland's long list of quarterbacks who almost made it. But the real genius in Berry's move isn't even about the field. It's about culture. Cleveland has been waiting forever for a quarterback the city can rally behind. The fan base is worn down, frustrated, and tired of pretending the 29th starter since 1999 was magically the guy. By putting Shedeur on top, Berry handed the fans something they've been missing for years, a reason to dream again. And sometimes in football, those dreams hit harder than wins, but that doesn't mean Gabriel's story is finished. Far from it. His presence makes this whole setup even wilder, because nothing sparks drama like a quarterback controversy.
Cleveland reporters finally asked Dillon Gabriel the narrative that's been spinning around his name. You know, he processed the information completely better than the rest.
Great question, because you always want results, but I think more than anything, it's consistent results. So if you don't have a process you can truly hang your hat on, then you're leaving it up to chance, or maybe it's more inconsistent rather than having a strong process. And of course, you know how the game of football goes. There's a lot of positives. There may be some negatives, but there's also something to priding yourself on your process and how you work and how you approach it. And for me, I think you build up.
It's the NFL's favorite soap opera subplot. 2 talented players, 1 job, and a fan base ready to explode over every snap. Gabriel is way too skilled to just fade away, which means every mistake Shedeur makes is going under a microscope with the brightness turned all the way up. Now, the Browns aren't just playing football. They're starring in their own full-time reality show. Every throw, every touchdown, every interception is about to spark debates, memes, and non-stop media takes flying across the internet. And you already know Dillon Sanders will be sitting front row with a grin, ready to remind the world exactly whose son just became the new face of the Browns. And don't skip the locker room angle either. Players know who carries real swagger.
Both, But Dillon Gabriel, in the Cleveland Browns' estimation, performed better over these last few months. And so if football is a meritocracy, the better quarterback winds up ahead. You know, Shedeur Sanders had a very nice showing against the Carolina Panthers in the first preseason game, did not play in the second one, and then really struggled in that third preseason game, so much so that he was yanked before the 2-minute drill in what was sort of a punitive move because of all the negative plays that he accounted for. And so now Shedeur Sanders, we knew that he was going to be on the 53-man roster. Now he's a third-string quarterback, and during the season, third-string quarterbacks don't get that many reps out there on the field. You know where the reps they get? It's with the scout team. So here we are in late August. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, and I want everyone to just say with a clear mind, say with open hearts, that it is okay that a third-string quarterback is going to be on the scout team.
They can feel the shift. They can see the spark. And now they've got a storyline that might actually change the team's whole identity. Andrew Berry knew exactly what he was cooking up here. This wasn't just a depth chart shuffle. It was about headlines, energy, and finally breaking out of that endless cycle of quarterback letdowns Cleveland keeps reliving. But this is Cleveland, and nothing here is promised except heartbreak and weather that ruins every good tailgate. The gamble on Shedeur Sanders might make Andrew Berry look like a genius ahead of his time. Or it might have fans sending him straight to the unemployment line screaming that Gabriel should have been the starter all along. And honestly, that's the beauty of it. It's bold, it's messy, and it guarantees everybody will be glued to this saga.
I thought he is better than some people are saying coming out of camp, but he's not as good as Shedeur Sanders. To me, nothing of that performance to me said this is the guy who should be stealing first-team reps while Shedeur is fourth. If anything, I got the impression it should have been opposite. Shedeur should be getting first-team reps and Gabriel should be the fourth string. And I'm not saying that he can't play at all, but I thought he didn't look as comfortable in the pocket. I thought his size looked like it could be a problem. Like a couple of his throws, he had to like really get up on tippy toes. Was that sustainable? I also didn't like, once you got off the script is when he kind of got worse, you know, and we saw Shedeur come out and maybe you could say Shedeur struggled early or at least like missed a couple throws, but he was up against one.
And even with all the hype, the spark, the surge of energy, and Andrew Berry basically planting a neon sign in the locker room saying, Shedeur time, there are still people insisting he shouldn't start. But Berry isn't entertaining that conservative hesitation. He's not putting Shedeur on some slow imaginary development path where he stands on the sideline fetching gear while Gabriel stacks up forgettable snaps. No, Berry has watched the Browns drown in quarterback purgatory for 20 straight years, and he's officially had enough. He's not signing up for another maybe next year experiment. He wants spark, he wants momentum, and he wants Shedeur right in the front seat. Because let's keep it real. The idea that Shedeur should patiently wait his turn behind Gabriel is straight-up comedy. Wait his turn? Since when do franchise quarterbacks stand around like they're taking a number at the DMV? Nobody told Justin Herbert to wait. Nobody told Joe Burrow to sit behind a veteran backup so he could ease in. And Cleveland, of all teams, is suddenly supposed to play it safe? Please. The Browns playing it safe is like a toddler trying to eat soup with a fork. It makes no sense, and it's not happening. The truth is simple. Shedeur needs first-team reps, not leftover practice scraps. If waiting in line made greatness, Ryan Fitzpatrick would have 8 rings by now. Shedeur already showed he thrives in straight-up chaos. Look back at Colorado. The man was playing behind an offensive line that looked like it got recruited off the street, and he still delivered highlight plays every single week. He was out there sprinting for his life, dodging defenders like he was on American Ninja Warrior, and still firing lasers downfield. If he survived that circus, then Cleveland's offensive line is basically a luxury upgrade. Give him a clean pocket, give him real NFL-level weapons, and this dude is gonna look absolutely wild. Of course, the skeptics are clinging to Dillon Gabriel, like he's some kind of safety shield protecting the franchise from chaos. Let's get this straight. Gabriel is good, he's polished, he's smooth, he's efficient, and he's got the kind of film that makes scouts nod like, yeah, that's solid. But he's not Shedeur. He doesn't bring that electricity, that wild energy that turns a simple football game into a full-on event. Gabriel is dependable, but Shedeur is straight box office. And Andrew Berry isn't just building a football roster, he's building a spectacle. He wants Cleveland in conversations that don't end with people laughing at the punchline. Just think about how wild it is to suggest holding Shedeur. back, it's like buying a Ferrari and deciding to keep it in the garage while you drive your old Corolla instead. Sure, the Corolla will get you around, but nobody's pulling out their phone to take pictures of it. Shedeur might struggle. He might look like a rookie tossed into deep water. But so what? The Browns have already seen every type of quarterback disaster imaginable. Failure isn't scary in Cleveland. It's basically tradition. What matters is the possibility. That slim, dangerous, exciting chance that Shedeur isn't just another name tossed into the quarterback graveyard, but the one who finally flips the script. Barry's refusal to cave to the bench him crowd makes this whole saga even spicier. He's not ignoring his critics. He's stomping their arguments with steel cleats. Shedeur sitting behind Gabriel, not a chance on Barry's watch. This move screams, I didn't bring this guy here to hold a clipboard. I brought him to carry a whole city. And in Cleveland, that's serious weight. This is a city that's been waiting for a quarterback savior longer than some fans can even remember. And here's what the skeptics keep missing. Shedeur doesn't just handle the spotlight, he wants it. Some players shrink when the pressure hits, but not him. He feeds off the pressure. The brighter the lights, the louder the noise, the more Shedeur turns up. That's why Barry's move hits so hard. You don't build confidence by locking him on the bench. You build it by throwing him into the fire and letting him spark the whole place up. The idea of Shedeur running Cleveland's offense isn't just exciting, it's a whole shift in energy. Picture him in shotgun, the stadium shaking, the dog pound roaring, and Shedeur carving up defenses with that swagger that makes even neutral fans lean closer to their screens. That's the vision Barry is pushing into reality. And the marketing side, it's real. Cleveland isn't exactly the NFL's dream vacation spot. Free agents aren't rushing to freeze through Ohio winters just to join a rebuild. But add Shedeur Sanders, and suddenly, the Browns get interesting again. National buzz, primetime love, jerseys flying off shelves. Barry knows he isn't just putting a QB under center. He's putting Cleveland back in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel ends up as the quiet side character, reliable, steady, but overshadowed by the headline name. It's not his fault. It's just how the story plays out. So when people whisper that Shedeur won't get his chance, remember, those whispers aren't coming from Andrew Barry. He already made his call. He's not bubble wrapping Shedeur or easing him in like a kid with training wheels. He's dropping him straight into the driver's seat and telling him to hit the gas. And honestly, that's exactly what this city needs. Because whether Shedeur dominates or struggles, one thing is certain, it won't be boring. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. See you on the next one.